Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session for a client that had a very specific habit that would happen at night. And it was normally when they were in a low mood, so feeling, let's say, not great, slightly depressed, or just not in the best mood. And they would do something to change their mood. It just wasn't the best way of changing their state. And when I asked the question to this client, what would have worked better to actually change their mood, they came up with some really good ideas about exercising or having a gratitude journal, changing their breathing, having a cold shower, things that actually would improve their mood much better than what they were doing. But they wanted to break that pattern. And sometimes it's useful to make a distinction between the intention, which is normally positive, and then the vehicle to meet that intention, which isn't always optimal. And for this client, the intention was to improve their mood, but the thing that they were doing wasn't really doing that, and actually it made them feel worse about themselves. So it wasn't even doing the job that it was designed to do. So in this hypnosis session, I actually use a metaphor of the three little pigs. The three little pigs is a fairy tale, like a children's story, but there's two key things there. All three of the pigs had the same intention, which was to have a house that protected them, but only one of the three pigs actually built a house that did that. Also, the third pig that was quite smart would outmaneuver the wolf by preempting them, anticipating their intention, and then doing something different to outmaneuver and outplay, outsmart the wolf. So I use that as an analogy so that the client could figure out that, yes, they have this intention, and almost the wolf becomes that urge that they have to do something destructive, but to outmaneuver them by doing something that would actually meet the need in a more elegant way. I think anyone that has a habit that they want to break will benefit from this, but in particular, if it's a late night habit, then you'll get more value because that's what the client that I was working with, that's what they were dealing with. The ideal way for you to benefit from this is to find a nice, quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and just enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in that slow, long, relaxing breath, and as you exhale, feel a sense of release and relief, as it feels like any stress, tension, and worries are starting to leave your body in that outward breath. As you find yourself naturally breathing in relaxation and exhaling tension, with every breath taking you deeper and deeper relaxed. As your body relaxes, your imagination awakens. And I wonder if you can remember being a child and being read a bedtime story. Maybe you can use the power of your imagination to imagine being a child in that same bed, being read a story of the 3 little pigs. And I want you to think of that first pig, the stupid pig. Bad choices. They had the intention to shelter and protect, but the vehicle they used was a house of straw. It was a good intention, but an ineffective solution. And that pig got eaten. And there was another pig, another good intention. That intention was to keep themselves safe, but also the wrong tool, the wrong solution, the wrong materials also led to that pig's demise. But there was a pig in that story that had intelligence and foresight. And when the wolf would kind of trick, that pig was always one step ahead. Whatever time they'd arranged to meet, the pig would have already done something in advance to do the thing, leaving that wolf high and dry. And that pig also had a wonderful intention to have a safe house. But that pig was willing to do a bit more work and to invest a bit more thought. And that pig found a good solution to a wonderful intention. And in doing so, managed to outsmart the wolf. And I want you to think of the wolf as a part of you that is trying to trick you and to do something that doesn't align with your interests. Maybe it's hijacking a positive intention, but trying to encourage you to find a bad solution to that positive intention. And I want you to think of the intention behind a particular behavior. Maybe it's to improve your mood. Maybe it's to make you feel better. I want you to get a sense that the intention itself is wonderful. Your unconscious mind is attempting to help you improve the quality of your emotions, your mood, and your life. And I want you to thank that part. Thank that part for giving you an insight, not just in terms of how you're feeling, but how you can solve that problem. But I want you to thank that part for the intention, not for the vehicle it's recommending. Because I want you to think that if you were feeling in a low mood late at night, there would be so many other solutions to that problem. You could listen to a recording that immediately puts you in a different state, makes you feel a different way. And when you feel a different way, any urge to do something undesirable simply disappears. I want you to think of how good you felt in the past when you've been truly considerate and thoughtful and helpful for someone else. And if those times when you did those things and thought that way really did make you feel better, let me know by nodding your head. And if it made you feel better then, it stands to reason it will also make you feel better in the future. As you start to separate intention from execution, you can agree with the intention to change and improve your mood, but find a more elegant way of doing that. And maybe that is to be thoughtful and considerate and helpful. Maybe it's to learn one new thing that enhances your life. Maybe it's to do something physical. And maybe that's 5 or 10 minutes of exercise, making you stronger, changing how you feel about yourself, giving you an opportunity to go beyond what you've done before. And I want you to imagine how you would feel if it was late at night. Just imagine doing some exercises, and you get to decide if you think this would make you feel better. Maybe it would make you feel stronger, accomplished, energized, or something else. Or maybe you would take a shower, hot or cold, just to break you out of that temporary emotion or mood, giving you a different feeling. And don't be surprised if that new feeling enables you to go back to bed, sleep deeply in a way where you feel much better about yourself. Or maybe it's an opportunity. If you wake up in the middle of the night, feeling in a particular mood of some kind, what if this was an opportunity to train your body and your diaphragm to breathe differently? Long breaths in, retaining the breath, and feeling on the outward breath you're releasing any of those unhelpful emotions, and then retaining that breath when there's nothing in your lungs activates the diaphragm so that the next breath in is even deeper than the last. I want you to imagine if 30 or 40 long, deep breaths would change your mood. And each time those breaths get longer and deeper, imagine your cortisol levels going down and your oxytocin and serotonin increasing. That simply by breathing differently, you can release stress and anxiety and activate those feel-good hormones. Or maybe you decide to reflect on the day. Any frustrations, annoyances, get them out of your head into somewhere different, on a screen, on a piece of paper. But then, command your mind to focus on what you're truly grateful for. And maybe that's qualities that you admire in yourself. Maybe it's things that are healthy in you but aren't necessarily healthy in all people of your age. Maybe it's the people in your life. There will be a day that comes when none of us are here. Isn't it a good idea to be grateful for those people that positively impact your life while they are? Or perhaps it's your cognitive powers to create ideas, to think of things differently. Maybe it's a moment, an experience. I want you to get a sense that there is infinite things to be grateful for. And by training your brain and your mind to hone in on what you are grateful for, you increase those wonderful feelings, enabling you to successfully improve your mood. I want you to think of this as having so many options to improve your mood. And what previously was the first choice is now falling down a hierarchy, so it's not even on the list, because there are so many more elegant, effective ways to meet that need that actually do the job properly. In any other area of your life, if you bought something to do something and it didn't do it, you would stop using that thing. A hammer that can never hammer a nail, why would you continue to use the hammer if it can't do the job that you bought it to do? And I want you to reflect that for so long now, you've been using a vehicle to get you to a destination, but it's been breaking down on every journey. It's not getting you to the place you wanted it to. And if you're ready to let go of that vehicle and to consider using vehicles that will be more useful, let me know by nodding your head. And the next time you feel a particular urge related to a mood, you'll smile. Just like that intelligent little pig. You will have things planned in advance. You will outsmart and outmaneuver the wolf. So when it comes knocking, you're already prepared. And if you have an idea of what you will do when that moment comes, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. Because you can either outsmart the wolf or be eaten by the wolf. The choice is yours. It's time to leave this place with a clear intention to do something now or in the future when the time arises, to make it empowering for you to rewire your brain in new, useful ways that are helpful now, but also build new habits that enhance the quality of your life. So take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. That's it, connect and calibrate into the here and the now. As I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.